Hey everybody, I figured I'd do a little pre-intro because the video was actually all these were put together, filmed back in May. So it's been a while. But finally getting around to editing and uploading this stuff. Um, the reason for all the delays is just it's been so busy. I've been doing so many things. But I've got a lot of footage to make several more videos, and I'm planning on doing that here shortly. And I know I've said that before, but I'm doing my best. But just figured I'd give you guys a little update. All right, guys, we're back after several weeks actually from when I last pulled the transmission pan, and I showed you guys the nasty diesel oil. That's what it looked to me like that was coming out of there. But we've done a few upgrades. Got a new pan. This one's actually B&M. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see better. Looks like it's leaking, but it's actually red paint. Because brother-in-law Hans redid the transmission. We did find some stuff that was bad in there. A lot of the clutches were severely burnt. Looked like the transmission had gotten hot. So I'll kind of go through what I did. So starting from the back, I ended up going to 8 on the transmission lines, and I used hydraulic hose, something I figured I wouldn't need to worry about getting damaged or anything. Super strong, rated for 3,200 psi. But the reason I decided to go that way is because I got a local guy that can build these for me, and they're literally same fittings as regular AN stuff, so didn't have to order those parts. And the trans cooler now goes to the front and goes up in there. And I have a Super Duty oil cooler in there now. So we can't see it from here, so I'll insert screenshots here. So basically, as you can see here, that pan or that cooler is a lot bigger. So it basically takes over the whole radiator. But I have more than sufficient fans because I've got the 07 Silverado dual E-fan set up in here. So, and a 34-inch radiator. So I figured that should be plenty. So another thing I did, and I had to get a little creative here. This is not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's functional, so we'll go with it. So I decided to put engine oil cooler in because transmission runs quite warm, or the engine oil runs quite warm with the twin turbos. And I've always noticed quite a bit of oil pressure loss because of the high temperatures of the oil. So I figured since we got dual turbos that are both oil cooled, if we can get a little cooler oil to the turbos, that would be good. And the way the system works, it comes out of this fitting here and goes into the radiator. Let me see if I can get it. You can kind of see it through there. So it's a radiator engine oil cooler. So it goes in there, and then it returns here, and the cooled oil is actually where the turbos are now getting their oil from. So that should help cool the turbos down a little bit more too. So I guess it gets split into the motor and to the turbos. So it should help the engine actually run cooler as well. And yeah. So this is the trans cooler I had before. It is 24 by 9 inches. The one I put on, or no, it's 18 by 9, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up. But I know my new cooler is the same width, but more than twice as tall. So and it's getting engine oil or engine fan cooling, so should have plenty of cooling going to it. But I just figured I was going to do whatever I could to try to remedy hot transmission, because the new torque converter, which I forgot to take any pictures of, but you can see it through there a little bit. It is a PTC 9.5-inch non-lockup torque converter. So it's going to be a different ball game with that torque converter. It no longer has lockup, so it should perform better. But I've heard a lot of good things from this torque converter, so we're about to find out. Alright guys, mid-build upgrade. See if I can get this on camera. Just making sure that my O-ring is happy. I am finally doing a high pressure oil pump. I just got the pump installed. So it was a little bit of a job getting down in there, but got that done. I'm also wiring in a transmission pressure sensor. So I'm gonna do that here in a little bit too, but for now I want to know, did we gain oil pressure? So I have not started it yet and just checked the oil. It's good. I say it's time, start it up, see what it does. I don't have water in it yet, so we won't let it run very long, but we want to see what we gained. Let's find out. Let's make sure we are on A. I'm going to turn that off. Oil pressure. That definitely looks a lot better. It's honestly still surprisingly low, but I think we're getting somewhere. Go check for leaks. Well, here she is warmed up to operating temperature. And this is what she does with some RPM. Well, I was on a bit of a time crunch, so I didn't get much footage, but she's back together and it's running. So definitely helped. I haven't done any wide open yet. Still just working out some other little things. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you guys some pretty neat stuff that I put on my truck now that makes it a little more fun to drive. Alright guys, so you guys have probably seen, or a lot of you guys have probably seen, what Sloppy Mechanics has done with Dial-A-Boost. It's kind of funny, I had actually thought of this idea a while before he ever introduced the Dial-A-Boost system, or the switch that he sold on his website, because of the fact that I do some Duramax tuning, and I have thought, man, I wonder if I could use a DSP-5 switch, if it's a 0 to 5 volt switch, if I could use it to adjust boost. Instead of, you know, using as DSP-5, just wired into the Holly, use as an input 0 to 5 volt. But I had never pursued it, you know, I just thought about it a few times. And then Sloppy Mechanics came out with this video about Dial-A-Boost, and I went ahead and bought that AEM switch that he was talking about, and I got it installed. Check this out. So that's another thing I did. I mounted my Holly here, or this touchscreen. I just have a magnetic cell phone mount, and I put a little plate over it. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's the back of a license plate actually. But I couldn't really use that cubby hole for anything else anyway. So figured might as well make a little plate here, and then I can mount my screen there, and there's my dial of boost. So there you can see the target boost. Now when you do the dial of boost, it's a boost offset, so it'll change everything. So whenever I activate the trans brake, it goes up in boost as well. But I have the trans brake boost, I'm not actually using it in the ECU. I'm adjusting trans brake boost by timing adjustment. So that doesn't really affect me anyway, but just something to remember if you do something like this, because it's just a boost offset. So the way I did it, I did 2 pounds per click. So we got 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and so on, all the way to 28 pounds of boost. So it's pretty awesome, to say the least. I love it. Because as anybody else knows, if you want to try to change the boost in your touchscreen, it sucks. Oh, the other thing I also did is I put a transmission pressure, line pressure sensor, but you can't watch it from your screen, but it does get data logged if you data log the truck, so that's also really nice. Let's see, I might see if I can pop it up here. Yeah, trans pressure is the bottom one down there. So my trans pressure is always maxed out because I don't have a pressure control solenoid. It's full pressure all the time. Anyway, I say we go take her for a drive. So this new converter is much looser. We'll do a little bit of a test here. I got it set at 9 pounds of boost right now. There you can see my trans line temp. Man, this thing runs nice and cool. It's actually about 80, 85 out right now. So let's give this a try and see how fast it'll build boost. That's much better. Like with my other combo, it would take me quite a while to get to that amount of boost. So I'm much happier with that. Well guys, so there it is. A few other things I wanted to go over with the truck yet is some of the updates that I've done. It's really dirty right now, as you can tell, but I put some front runners on. So these are 15x4. They're actually Summit Racing, and then got a 205 75 15 tire, which is a little bit wide for that wheel, but it actually works. It's not bad. It definitely looks a little bit weighed down by the small tire, but a little light on it. So yeah, otherwise that's about all I've done to the truck.